a big hand. Give him a big hand. Konstantin, come to the stage, please. Good to have you. Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Hi. Take a seat. Good to have you in our show in the Netherlands. Maybe you can, because I don't think so a lot of people know you, maybe you can introduce yourself, please, to our audience.
Pleasure. First of all, thank you for everybody spending your time with us. I know your time is precious, so spending an afternoon with us, big thank you. I hope we'll have a lot of good content. I'm Konstantin Ebert. I'm the Executive Vice President at Bechtle, responsible for the Netherlands, for Belgium, UK, and France.
And when we talk about transformation, there is also transformation in your personal life, because in the next year you have a new role within Bechtle.
Yes,
right?
Yes, I'll take over the role of the COO, one of the two COOs at Bechtle, because it's a succession plan. Well-planned succession. In January, I will take over from Jürgen Schäfer, who is in that role today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
It's
okay, let's talk about
nice transformation.
Yeah, that's also transformation. So let's talk about that important topic. When you have questions, please use our tools. We explain to you. Maybe you can explain us something about transformation in your personal life, but also what it means to us, to the clients of Bechtle and ARP.
So I think, and my Dutch is horrible, but I think I heard it a little bit, that transformation is something steadily changing, things are changing, environments are changing, right. And I think that's the most important thing around transformation for me. It's nothing that stops, it's nothing that starts, it's something that is ongoing, and it's something that we can influence. Sometimes we're hit by it. But it's something that is, I would say, imminent in all life. And if it's basic things that my hair transforms from brown to gray, it's everywhere. And I think that's so. It's sometimes it's almost explained in a way like it would be a threat, a transformation. I think actually it's something positive, because it always means it's something develops and continues, right. And moves
But that's
on.
very general, and that's also
yes.
what it means in your personal life. But maybe you can relate it also to the work life.
Yeah, I think we see it every day in our work life. If I just think if I look back at when I started working, and I remember my first years in sales, you went to a hotel after a day of meetings, you put your notebook up, you find the telephone plug, you put your modem in, and then you went for dinner 2 hours, and when you came back and you were lucky, your emails downloaded. Whereas today you're like reachable everywhere, and if you just think about that transformation from just using a notebook to then BlackBerry and then smartphone today, and I think the biggest way how I see how this is changing in the use of IT is if I look at my children. My son is 14. He still started using Google like I do it, like typing something, and my daughter with 11, she just talks with Siri, and I assume my smallest daughter with 8, she just talks somewhere into the room and gets the answers, maybe even already texted by artificial intelligence into a presentation. So I think it's really steady and fast.
Right. What is the biggest change within Bechtle and ARP?
In transformation?
Yeah,
I think it's two things. One is we're, of course, transforming ourselves constantly in the market, in the Netherlands, everywhere. I think Bechtle is constantly transforming in our strategy. And with the way we look at it is, we try to look at it from our customer side. Our aim is to be at the side of our customers, supporting them in their individual transformations.
So you are not a consultant, right?
No, we're not a consultant. So we're not the right one telling you what you need to transform in your business, but we believe we are the right one to help you in what you want to change in your business.
Right.
And I think in every business today, transformation is fast. It's sometimes you need to transform your own business. Sometimes you only need to transform the way you bring products to market. It's an ongoing process.
Right. So that is the first thing. Would you also like to mention the second thing? Because you mentioned two things in transformation within Bechtle, ARP.
Yeah, so one is really our strategy in becoming broader in the market.
Right.
You know that we also acquired another company in the Netherlands, and we really want to ensure that as a partner to our customers, we're positioned broadly in the market, that we can support our customers and all the points that came up from a cloud strategy. What should I move to the cloud? So we are really in a broad portfolio next to you.
Right, that makes sense. We have an incoming question.
Okay, I think I've got the first question, and someone asked it through the chat box, but managed to stay anonymous, so don't know how.
Okay.
Didn't fill the name. The question for you is, Konstantin, you already asked it a little bit, perhaps we could go a little deeper. What market developments do you expect in the upcoming years, and specifically, what will be the role of Bechtle in these changes?
Okay,
so
interesting question.
Especially on the market developments.
Yeah, so market development of IT, I think the transformation to cloud will continue to have a big impact. A lot of workloads will continue to move to cloud, but there will be also a lot of workloads remaining in classical data center environments. So there is that transformation is ongoing, and that is also a big element where we are looking at, because I think it's important to have the right judgment of what needs to move where. That's a strong role where we see ourselves as well. I think actually that in the IT market in general, that artificial intelligence will take a big piece going forward in that transformation process, because it's also something that accelerates very quickly, because it's so fast, it has some self-learning elements, and that is something where we spend a lot of time also with the vendor partners we work closely with to really get a good scope of it. You will not see Bechtle becoming an AI company. We are not a developer, but you will see us being a good source of evaluating together with you where it makes sense to use such environments and such workloads.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do you have an example of AI nowadays, how you use it within Bechtle together with your partners?
Yeah, we just a very precise example. We just acquired a company called Planet AI, a German company who has developed an AI solution that is automatically reading, scanning, and interpreting documents. So they can automatically read it, process it, store it, and so on, based on the content. That is one element, but we're working a lot with companies also providing the environment around it, from the chip manufacturers like NVIDIA, with the big companies. You also have here outside like Dell, for example, where we work, where Lenovo, where we work very closely to providing best environments to run AI workloads.
Right. Which role do you see for all the people here in the room, your clients, in the future, of course, of Bechtle and ARP, but also about the together future?
I think every client is targeted differently by a transformation. Everybody of you is in or maybe everybody, but a lot in different industries, and you have very different requirements how you need to transform. Our role can only be to help you in realizing where you think you need to go. We are, as you mentioned earlier, we're not the consultant telling you what your strategy is, but I think we're a good partner in helping you through that transformation.
And it's also important to stay close to the human element of technology. What's the strategy here?
I think the human element will take an even more important role, because also with increasing AI usage, we will definitely see that there is actually more room for human interaction, because a lot of things that humans do sometimes today you don't need to do anymore, you do differently. So I think the human element will be even more important, and you see that in school life as well. When kids get their homework written by AI, it's more about the discussion of the content than the learning or repeating of the content.
Right. Gijs, do we have questions, incoming questions?
Well, I've got one, because I'll do this one in Dutch. Ik wil je nog een keer oproepen om vooral je vragen te stellen op bechtle.joinlive.tv. Pak even je telefoon, log erop in, kan ze goed gebruiken. But we've already asked a couple of colleagues on forehand to ask a question. And one question, which I thought was a really good one, was what threats do you see in the IT world of tomorrow, especially within a swift transformating IT world outside of security? So not the obvious threats in IT security. What other threats do you think we can expect?
I think the only threat I see is missing opportunities of technology. Because if you look backwards, looking at industries that maybe ran into problems, they typically missed an opportunity of leveraging technology. I read once the sentence that if the train companies in the US 100 years ago would have thought about not running trains but running transportation, they would own the airlines today. And I think that's what we see in a lot of industries. And I think for everybody, that missing technology as a transforming, moving forward, and going new ways, and getting a competitive advantage. That's the biggest risk in technology.
Okay, maybe shed light on also another thing, because that's sustainability. We talk a lot about sustainability, and there's also a link between AI and all the technology behind it and sustainability goals. What's the combination here? Do you have things in mind?
Yeah, of course, artificial intelligence will help to use products more intelligently and so on. But I think on sustainability, there's a lot of things that we should not look that much in the future, but actually think about what can we do today in daily life. And we as Bechtle Group, we look a lot at what we can do there. We are a lot engaged with our vendor partners to find new ways of shipping products, to be more efficient in shipping them with less
also more
packaging.
Local?
Pardon me?
More local?
It's more local,
yeah.
But it's also in the whole value chain of from the production to bringing products into use, but also reusing the products and in the way of giving them a second life.
Okay, we will also talk about this point later on in our show.
We got another question from the audience. Dankjewel, Bram. And Bram wants to ask you, do you see any bad changes, bad transformations, and how do we recognize a bad transformation?
Yes, a bad transformation is a very general. I don't know. I think, actually, I'm from Germany, so we are very proud of our car industry. And you see what happens in car industry right now. I think that's really a bad transformation. We like glued to the combustion engine for a long, long time. And when you see how that transformation is going, how that goes along with IT, software, and so on, it's amazing. I think that is a bad transformation from a German car manufacturer point of view. It's a great information from a transformation from a point of view, how you see how mobility evolves and so on. I think that's an example I like about a bad transformation. I think on any transformation you might go through, it's always important to set milestones where you want to go and look back and forward from that milestone.
Okay. More questions, Gijs?
Yeah, I've got another one from Jenna, thank you. How do you help others, like employees, into the transformation?
Okay. Like who? Good question.
Like, how do you, I think it's on you as a person, help others, like employees, into the transformation? How do you lead them into it?
Well, I think it's two ways. I think in today's world you need to give employees a lot of room to develop themselves as well, and to pick where to develop to and work in agile environments. And of course you also need to provide a lot of educational possibilities to stay up to date.
Okay. Maybe a last question, Gijs?
Yeah.
Are there a lot of incoming questions?
Well, I think Tim is writing one right now.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, here it is. How to achieve the maximum benefit with regards to cloud solutions within the current developing IT world. I'll do it again. How to achieve the maximum benefit with regards to cloud solutions within the current developing IT world.
I think the cloud environment is a very interesting one because it's a lot of companies went super fast into the cloud. Some put everything in the cloud, and I personally think cloud needs to be evaluated in a healthy mix. There is the justification for keeping certain things in-house, in data center, in hybrid cloud solutions, in full cloud. I don't think there is an either or. I think it's an and I think it's a thing you need to evaluate very carefully or thoroughly. Definitely cloud is there to remain, but not everything makes sense in the cloud. So I think it's really, it needs a thorough thinking with the right partners, where I strongly believe we are one, of course, who can offer different cloud solutions in different variances and was somewhat agnostic there.
Okay, thank you. And I already got another one. Thank you all for keep them coming. This one's anonymous as well. How do you think we can protect intellectual property in an AI world?
Okay, the IP part.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Difficult one, right?
I'm definitely not an AI expert to answer that properly, but I think in a lot of things what we see also right now around AI, where governments try to introduce some governance, and you always have the feeling they're like totally late to the game, right? They're always following up. So I think it's so fast developing, it's difficult. I think over time we will have models developing similar, like with the fees for artists and so on in the music industry, that you will get shares for things that get pulled and replicated and so on. That's the only way it
So
can happen going forward.
if I understand you correctly, you say the intellectual property system has to transform as well.
Yes, absolutely. If you use in an AI world, if you use things that somebody else developed, that person should have some royalties. So there needs to be systems put in place, like in music industry and so on, to share those royalties.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
interesting view. Thank you.
We discussed different things, but what is your main message to us today to think about later on?
I think transformation is something super positive. It's great because in every transformation there lies a lot of potential. You always need to manage risk, like with everything in life, but there lies a lot of potential. And I strongly believe we as Bechtle are a good partner to support you in these transformations with ideas, with support, and so on. But it's up to you, to everybody themselves, to pick up actively a transformation process.
That's great. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for
today.
having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
very
Quick
much.
round of applause. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.